What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to put to bed the difference between a boat wash and a boat detail. And during this boat detail information, we're gonna go ahead and explain exactly what it is, step by step, to help make boats like this look shiny and new. Pay attention, take notes, let's go. Before we get into the explanation of what a boat wash and what boat details actually entails, just some housekeeping tips. If you find this video and this channel helpful at all and can apply it to your life or your business, please give me a like, give me a share, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button down the bottom. Okay, so when we talk about boat washes and boat details are very different. Washes is when someone comes in with some soap, a couple of brushes, and a power washer, and they go ahead and they go in all the little cracks and creases. They go ahead and wash everything down. They might wash some salt off of the hull. They might put some, some solvent on the motor, things like that. And typically a boat wash is gonna run you anywhere between $200 and $400. So when we're talking about boat washing, it is washing all of the surfaces, spraying everything down, soap, warm water, power washing everything out, getting off the mildew, getting off the scum, getting off the salt, and making your boat clean on the surface. So when we talk about boat washes, that's more of a boat wash. So now when we talk about boat detailing, all of this stuff that you see here, this is what it takes to detail a boat. Very, very different from washing a boat. Washing, you have a couple, like I said before, you have a couple of brushes and you have power washer, soap, things of that nature, scrub brushes, etc. When we talk about detailing a boat, this is what we talk about. We talk about conditioning the actual fiberglass and the gel coat. We go over all of the surfaces. So all of the smooth white or smooth color that you have, anything that's not the non-skid, we go ahead and we do some sort of correction to. When you go and detail a boat, what we do is we clean everything down. We give it a Dawn bath wash, or we give it an acid bath wash. Acid will get off the rust, get off any of the oxidation on top of the fiberglass. 9 times out of 10, when I go and quote boats are heavily oxidized. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna Dawn wash it, and then we're going to acid wash to try to get some of that initial oxidation off. And then we're gonna go ahead with a process like this here. So detailing involves machines, and machines, what they are designed to do is to grind off the oxidation that has built up on top of the gel coat. So gel coat, usually 6 to 8 millimeters thick, and what happens is when it oxidizes and when you look down the line of your boat, when you can't see any reflection or minimal reflection, what happens is, I call it a sunburn. I tell people a lot of times their boat has a sunburn. So the UV rays come down and they hit that gel coat and they start to burn that top layer, and that's the dull and the faded part that you see. So as detailers, we have to identify that, and then we have to go ahead and make a plan of action. 9 times out of 10, usually we'll start with the rotary buffer here with a heavy cut compound and a heavy cut wool pad, and we will go around every single square millimeter, yes, that detail, of your boat. All of the smooth that you see, sometimes we will hit the non-skid, kind of depends on what we have going on. But any of the smooth, so we have the hull, we have the transom, we have the bow, we have the whole center console. So all of the smooth, again, we are going to go over and hit that with a heavy cut compound with a heavy cut wool pad. Now, secondly, what we will do is when we go ahead and when we remove all of that oxidation, it leaves behind a lot of swirl marks. So you will see it will look shiny at a first glance, but when you put a light up to it, usually 9 times out, every time, I will put my flashlight up to it and I will look for imperfections in the gel coat, and you will see swirls, okay? So the more swirls you have, the more dull it's gonna look. It's not gonna be as crisp and clear and glass-like as we want it. So we want that surface to be really nice and smooth and flat, flush, And so the second step, what we'll do is we'll take some sort of medium cut compound. This is the heavy cut stuff that we used the first time. Stark products are the absolute best marine detail supply in Fort Myers, Florida. Stark products, huge shout out. Okay, then we'll go ahead and we'll hit it with a medium cut compound after that. Okay, sometimes we'll put the medium cut yellow pad on the rotary buffer and we'll go at it that way. It all depends how that responds. If that doesn't respond the way we want it to, we will go ahead and hit up this big boy. This is your forced rotation with some sort of foam pad here with the medium cut compound. Now, I'm not going to get into pads. I'm not going to get into what types of wool pads to use here, but I'm just more or less explaining the process and how detailed it is. We'll go ahead with a foam pad here to get out a lot of those swirl marks and a lot of that oxidation that's left over that we didn't get with this here. Now, if that didn't work, sometimes we will go to the purple foam on this buffer, okay? And we'll see if we can do that way. So there's more than one way to skin a cat when it comes to boat detailing and getting your boat to look as showroom as possible. We've gone ahead and we've done your test spot when we initially go out. So what we want to do is we just want to tape off a 2x2 section just to test and try out the formula to get your boat crystal clean, that hard glass look. If it's going to be with the heavy cut and the heavy cut here, if it's going to be with medium cut, if it's going to be medium cut with the foam pad, or if it's going to be a medium cut, on the DA. Like I said before, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. So now, once we have the right formula and how your gel coat is going to respond, we go ahead and we do that to the entire smooth all over the boat. So we go heavy cut compound. Sometimes we'll even wet sand in the beginning, and then we'll go heavy cut compound, medium cut compound. And then after that, we're ready for some type of sealant. If you have a newer boat, we might talk about ceramic coating. Ceramic coating, marine grade, that is gonna last you anywhere from 12, 16, 18 months, depending on how much your boat is in the sun. And then if we don't do that, we go with some sort of polymer sealant like this. Again, Stark Yacht Care products are the best. So we use a product called Hyperhold. We go ahead and we put that on the DA, okay, on the dual action buffer here. And then we go over every single square millimeter, again, all over the smooth of the boat there. So after 24 to 48 hours, your boat will be ready to go in the sun and be completely protected. So now, just some housekeeping tips. We also go ahead and we use degreasers. We use products that take rust off. We use things like this, a prep surface. It's an alcohol-based product to go ahead and get any of the slime off, okay? We go ahead and we use mini polishers with all different kinds of mini pads. We have all of our chargers. I even use a leaf blower to get out, because when we're grinding and we're getting all that oxidation off, you have oxidation flying everywhere, you have compound dust flying everywhere. So we go ahead and we use a leaf blower to keep our workspace nice and clean. Lastly, you're gonna see us, and what we do is we're gonna use about 5,000 of these microfiber towels just so we don't put any more scratches, any more imperfections in the gel coat, and we fully take off any residues before we go to the next step. So now, when we talk about charging for a boat, I bet you're wondering, wow, how much does something like this cost? Okay, so we have all the different steps. We could do things like wet sanding, heavy cut compound, medium cut compound. And within those, we have different steps. We could go all around the boat. When we wet sand, we can wet sand with 500 grit, 400 grit even I've done. And when we start that low, we gotta go 4, 6, 8, 1,000, 2,000, sometimes 3,000. So within one step, we might have some sub-steps that we do. There might be 5 steps in one, okay? So we have wet sanding, then we have, like I said, we have the heavy cut compound, we have the medium cut compound, then we have the polishing, or we have the polishing to prep ourselves for some ceramic, or we have the polishing when we go to the hyper hole and we go to the sealant. So typically when we're detailing a boat and doing a full recon to get that showroom like we all want, it's gonna be anywhere from 5 to 6 different steps all in one process. Now, the pricing, people are all over the place with pricing, but what we do is the pricing in the industry is this. It is, we charge per step, per foot, per boat, okay? So we start at $25 per step, per foot, okay? So how does that work out? If we have a 10-foot boat, okay, $25 per step. So the first step could be buffing out the oxidation. So it's gonna be $250, right? So it's 25 times 10, $250 to go ahead and do this first step. The second step with the forced rotation, again, another $250, okay? Now, given that we don't have to go into any of this other stuff, that the gel coat is responding nicely, then we go into our third step with our sealant, again, another $250. So for a 10-foot boat, we're looking at $750, okay? A lot of work is involved in this. A lot of expertise is involved in this. So whatever size boat you have, you can use that rule of thumb. We usually start at $25 per foot. I know people that go up to $55 per step per foot, and so forth. So guys, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you get any value out of this, please help me help you continue and fund this channel. Please give me a like, give me a share, hit that subscribe button down the bottom, and I'll see you on the next video. Let's go.